and welcome to this week's edition of Power Talk. And we're so pleased to be continuing a conversation we have had with my guest who has been on Power Talk before. And today we're going to be talking about that topic. It's called dental fluorosis. Might sound like a big name, but once you see the pictures and you see the great work that he does, then you will understand what we're talking about. So on Power Talk this week, we're hosting Dr. Carson Opiyo, who is the CEO of the Lake Basin Dental and Orthodontics Center, to break down this topic for us, what it is, how it can be treated, but most importantly, how technology and AI is being employed to do just that. Dr. Carson, thank you. It's good to have you with us once again.
Thank you.
All right, let's start by talking about dental fluorosis. What is it? Dental
fluorosis is, I would call it a cosmetic problem on the teeth enamel, yeah? Whereby in most cases we call it mottled enamel. The teeth may present in various forms, like it may present as white when it is mild, like some white specks. When it is mild, and if it is moderate, it will be like brown. You've seen people with brown teeth. And when it is severe, in its severe form, it would be like pitted. You can see the teeth are breaking down, brown and breaking down.
Okay.
Being someone who has been affected by fluorosis before, yes, I can say it is a condition of the teeth that really make people have very low self-esteem, yeah, especially when you're smiling. You don't want people to see your teeth. Yeah. It is, I would say, fluorosis is an endemic problem in Nairobi right now.
And what causes it?
Drinking water. There are other causes, but drinking water is the main cause. The fluoride in water, when it is taken in excess for kids who are below 8 years, this is the formative stage of the teeth. The fluoride in toothpaste is very important, but it is in the right measure, such that it is required to form a layer that prevents the cavities from affecting the teeth. Even during formation of the enamel, which is the whiter part of the tooth, in that formation we need the fluoride to still make the enamel strong, to prevent you from getting cavities.
And so there's a recommended amount of fluoride, in drinking water?
WHO recommended figures are between 0.5 milligrams per liter to 1 milligrams per liter.
What do those symptoms present like again?
Yeah, first the child will realize that, or the parent will realize that the teeth are a normal enamel is glossy white. It is not that white that is chalky white. It is glossy white and glossy smooth white that is translucent. Okay, that is a normal tooth. When you as a parent, you realize the kid is having the teeth that are having some speckles of white, yeah, hypomineralized. That means the enamel is becoming porous. Yeah, then you start noticing that this is an element of fluorosis. Yeah, so it presents in various forms. So that is the mild form. Then we have the moderate form, which I talked about, which is now it will be a large surface of that tooth is affected, more than 50%, and mostly present as the brownish color. Now the enamel become mottled. And then in this severe form, in which most parents will bring their kids when now the tooth is worn out, when now the child has started feeling low due to self-esteem issues in school, that is when they will present for the management.
All right, but Doc, it does sound like by the time you get to the advanced stage and the teeth or the tooth that's affected is breaking down. So what are the other negative effects of fluorosis beyond, having an effect on one's self-esteem? Because it sounds like those are teeth that no longer function properly.
Also, as dentists, we face a lot of problems when you have fluorous teeth. For example, if somebody has fluorosis and they need a filling of that tooth, if the tooth has cavity, because teeth that have fluorosis actually have high chances of having cavities. They have high risk for caries, for cavities. So when this patient presents to you with a cavity and you want to fill this tooth, the bonding is a problem. The filling material becomes a problem. You get to face a problem trying to fill it because you will have to etch this teeth for a longer period of time. Also, kids who have fluorosis and then they have alignment issues, these teeth have subsided, they have bonding problem, the braces won't bond to them.
Okay. Are they able to chew properly, or, you know?
Chewing they will,
yeah.
but as we have agreed, in this severe form, the teeth are now becoming brittle. They are pitted, They will be, the pulp may be exposed, the living part of the tooth may be exposed, and now the child will have sensitivity issues and all that.
Okay, okay. So now that we know what it is, how, you know, the symptoms present, what is the management of dental fluorosis?
Well, the management depends, as I said, whether it is mild, moderate, or severe. But then, first we look at the age. The kind of management regimen we will have in a child is different from the one we will have in an adult. A child, I mean anybody below 17 years. Yeah. So a child who is below 17 years and just has mild fluorosis, we will do what we call microabrasion, That is one of the methods that can be used, whereby a type of acid that is medical, not just any acid, phosphoric acid in a certain percentage that is allowed, 35%, so 37%, is used to rub, like polish, that surface if it is mild. That surface that is speckled white so that it can have a uniform color. Also, there's other methods whereby you take a resin. Resin is composite. The material we normally use for filling is called icon. You infiltrate, because we have said that such enamel have porosity, so you microfill those areas so that it can have a uniform.
I see.
Okay. And in its severe form in children, we do what we call masking, because we can't have those definitive treatment like permanent treatments, because the child is still growing, the tooth is still young, the pulp is still large, and you might end up injuring this tooth. So we avoid the permanent management regimens. Now, in adults, still, depending on whether it is mild, moderate, or severe, still we can do microabrasion. We can do something called macroabrasion, whereby using a bar, using a tool, the area is rubbed out.
Okay.
And it may not be just microabrasion alone. Like you don't just rub that area, because you might rub the area, then it remains a pit. Now, you may have to fill that area. Okay. You may have to do masking, or you can combine it with things like veneers or crowns. Okay? Now,
I mean, when you say abrasion, is that, and forgive my layman speak, is that the way you use a nail file to, you know, sort of file your nails? So you're filing out the brown.
But in this case, remember, this is a living tissue, Okay. So you have to be very careful, such that when you are rubbing it, you have to be very careful. Otherwise, you are going to remove all the enamel of the tooth, and that tooth will be very sensitive. Okay. So you have to be trained to be able to do it. Now, in adults, we have other method. For example, if the tooth is moderately fluorosed, you can still do masking. Masking is whereby we take the filling material, which we call composite or resin, and then just etch the tooth, prepare the tooth, etch the tooth, and then you put it so that it can appear white. I see. Okay? This is a temporary option, because the problem with masking is, it is a temporary option because problem with masking is that it can come out, especially if poor composite is used.
Out of all of these management processes that you've talked about, some of them are permanent, where to the extent that, a patient who presents with fluorosis can then, after visiting you, can go on to have
a normal life
with white teeth.
For over 20 years.
And it won't reverse? Or?
As I'd said, I'm a victim of fluorosis, because I lived with a bowl of water just next to our house. So I had severe fluorosis. Not just moderate, severe fluorosis. And as you can see, I managed to do what we call a smile makeover with zirconia crowns. And this is what we do, that everybody from Africa is now coming to our center to have this done. Initially, they were going to Turkey to have this done, to India, Turkey. But having brought the technology in Kenya, it is something that we are doing now. And as you can see, I think it completely changed my self-esteem. These procedures, they have their disadvantages. As we said, as much as possible, you would want to minimize the breakdown of the tooth, because once you remove the outer layer of the tooth, which is the enamel, is the protective part of the tooth. When you get to dentine, which is the second layer, you will actually be having sensitivity. So the material that you are going to use has to be biocompatible. And it depends on an individual basis a lot. You might find some people you've just done maybe 0.5 preparation, and they're having so much sensitivity.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've done a smile makeover. That's why we recommend that instead of going abroad to have this treatment done, because this treatment, you might have a smile makeover and the bite is not okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You might have a smile makeover and you are okay. After sometimes you develop sensitivity. So it is better if you do it locally so that you can have that assurance. You can go for reviews.
Constant care.
Yeah, constant care so that you don't have an untoward effect of these smile makeover procedures.
Okay.
Yes.
And you at Lake Basin Orthodontic Center are employing artificial intelligence, so AI, in the management of fluorosis. Explain that to us.
Okay, first, I think AI, if there's one area that AI has affected, it is dentistry and, of course, medicine as a whole, yeah? Because in the olden days, you would find that the kind of regimen that were there, the kind of methods that were used to treat fluorosis, they would need so much time, whereby somebody would have to come to the dentist for maybe 2 weeks or more. Okay. As you take the measurements, the technology was not available locally. You would send work to Dubai, you would send work to South Africa, to UK, and you would be having temporary crowns or veneers for some time as the doctor still communicates with the lab so that you can have the work brought back. But now we have, there's something called 3D scanning, yeah? Laser scanning. So it has so much revolutionized dentistry to the extent that when somebody is having what we call questionable fluorosis, you look at the teeth, they look like they're fine and they're not, also they're not fine. So you can take a picture with that scanner and try to compare.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell the patient to come maybe 3 times, you try to compare whether there is any difference. Number 2, they have employed a technology for detection of the fluorous teeth, whereby you shine a light, like it's called fluorescence light, yeah? You shine a light over the teeth, and then it will show, just the same way we detect caries using these scanners. It will show you the speckles, the areas which might be having the area that might be fluorous. So it is a confirmatory, like a confirmatory test, yeah? Also, the scanner, once you've converted the image of the teeth into a 3D image, once the teeth have been prepared, you just need to rescan the teeth. The technician or the CAD/CAM specialist will, this is done with using CAD/CAM technology, which is called computer-aided design and computer-aided milling, yeah? Okay. So once you design what you've scanned after the preparation, you simply mill it and you can actually deliver that crown within 1 hour. As
we close, Dr. Carson, just when is the best time to come? You know, you've talked to us about the symptoms from mild to severe.
Yeah.
Just some final advice on how to manage fluorosis because it's in the water.
Yeah.
And when to seek treatment.
Yeah. I want to probably just advise the parents first. The prevention is better than cure. It's always about prevention, yeah? Everybody is sinking boreholes. But I think it should be a government policy that each and every person who is sinking boreholes, especially in schools, because as a parent, you'll be very careful at home. Yeah. You give the patient, your child water that is not having excess fluoride. But at school, you don't know the kind of, maybe they're cooking at school, they're using borehole water. So there should be a policy to make sure that the water has been tested, and if there's high fluoride content, they install machines. There are a number of companies in Kenya that sells these machines, and they're affordable. They are as low as 15,000. Yeah, so you take it and put it in your tap, so that the water that comes for the drinking, with that you will not even need to buy water, because a reverse osmosis, it will remove everything from water. Yeah. So prevention better than cure. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. You know, it's the Waswahili who say mganga hajigangui, but in your case you definitely did, or daktari wa hajitibu. But at least you're living proof that all of this that you're talking about is technology and management that you have applied on yourself. Yeah. All right, thank you so much. That's Dr. Kennedy Carson Opiyo. He's the CEO of Lake Basin Dental and Orthodontic Center. We've been speaking about fluorosis, which is maybe known to us as the browning of teeth.
but it's much bigger than that. And what are the signs and symptoms? What's the management, and how technology is being used to manage that right here in the country? That's Power Talk this week.